Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the C Squared Social University podcast. I'm your host, Latasha James, and I have been a content creator for many years in some capacity. And I'm going to be honest with you, content creation is not for the weak. It definitely takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources. And I understand how overwhelming that can be if you are a business owner, knowing what today's social media landscape looks like, meaning that is so video heavy, so content heavy, and just feeling really overwhelmed about where to actually start. So I want to break it down for you. I want to share 4 things that I've learned over the years that have enabled me to create more content with less time, energy, resources, and all of that. Before we hop into the episode, please take a second to subscribe to the channel wherever it is that you're listening or watching, and leave us a comment and a thumbs up if you can, or a review over on Spotify. It helps us so much. And let's hop in. Okay, so the first thing, this is probably the number one thing that has helped me create more content, is repurposing. Listen, we've got YouTube, we've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got LinkedIn, Twitter, all of these different platforms. I'm sure you as a business owner are on a combination of them as well. It's really hard to create original content for every single platform. And even within the individual platforms, let's say YouTube, for example. Well, YouTube, we have the long form videos, but we also have shorts that are under a minute. We also have a community feature on there where we can post text updates or images. We have stories just on one platform. The same can be said for most of the other platforms as well. So it's just not realistic to assume that we're going to create brand new content pieces for each platform and still be able to do our day jobs and run our businesses. So repurposing is so helpful. And basically what repurposing is taking one piece of content that already exists, let's say a YouTube video, and cutting it up into pieces. So maybe I'm going to share a 30-second clip from this YouTube video here and post it onto our Instagram Reels, or post it onto TikTok, or post it onto our Instagram story. Now, there are lots of other ways that you can repurpose as well. I could take a screenshot and I've got a photo that I can use for LinkedIn or for Instagram, for example. I can pull a transcript of this episode if I'd want to, and actually format that into a blog post or an email update. One of my favorite tools for doing that is called Descript. It's a really easy to use editor, but there are plenty of ways that you can do this in a more hands-off way as well. You can hire someone to transcribe your videos for you. You can use a platform like Rev, which has people do it and you pay by the minute. So there's lots of different options for you. But just by posting one YouTube video, for example, you can get a blog post, you can get an Instagram reel, a TikTok, an Instagram caption, an email. You could get a podcast if you rip the audio and put it onto Spotify like we do. There are so many different types of content that you can get from just one long form piece of content. And you can certainly repurpose short form content as well. You can use your TikTok on Instagram Reels, on YouTube Shorts. But I always say that it's a lot easier to repurpose down than to take a short piece of content and repurpose up and blow it out into something larger. So do keep that in mind. I always think it's helpful to create long form first and then repurpose down. The second thing I like to encourage people to do is determine your minimum viable product. What I mean by this is a lot of times as business owners, obviously we want to produce the highest quality stuff we possibly can. I get it. But that's just not always realistic when we're first starting out. So I like to ask myself, would I be happy with the quality of, a particular creator that I look up to? Would I be happy with 80% of that quality? How could I replicate that to 80%? Meaning I might not have a full-on studio, or I might not have the most expensive or fancy microphone, or I might not be able to post every single day on social media, on YouTube, wherever that might be. But maybe I could do 4 days or 3 days a week, or maybe I could, rent a studio once a month, or maybe I could hire somebody who has their same energy level, right? Figure out whatever that's going to be for you. When we're first getting started creating content, that's probably going to be starting really, really small. And my recommendation is start small. Start with a small commitment, stick with it. This is really important when you're building up a content platform, and grow from there. start with what you have. If you have a cell phone, you can totally create video content or podcast content or take photos. So just start there. For a lot of my clients that I've worked with, a minimum viable product means that they're posting an Instagram story every single day. It doesn't mean that they're creating long form YouTube videos every day or even every week. It's just an Instagram story. Or maybe it's a YouTube short once a week or twice a week. Whatever they can commit to, start there. And then again, grow, improve your equipment, improve your quality, improve your cadence and frequency of publishing. As you start to get in the swing of things, it makes things a lot less intimidating, I promise. My next tip is to batch your content. Batching has saved my life. I would have never been able to post hundreds of YouTube videos like I have on my own channel without batching, because I also run a very busy business myself, and I don't have time to whip open my camera and pull out my microphone every single day or even every single week. So what I like to do is set aside 1 or 2 days a month to record my content, meaning that's what I'm doing for those 2 days. 16 hours of work, I'm able to easily batch out 4 to 8 long form YouTube videos for myself, and I just film them one after another. My batching routine also extends to the editing process, and it also precedes the filming process because I also batch out my outlines. So if you script your videos or outline your videos, take a day to just write out a bunch of your scripts or a bunch of your outlines before going into film. This really helps just my mind stay a little bit organized. And I also really enjoy the batching process just because shifting from one task to another is really, really hard for me, especially when it's something that's a little bit more admin, like writing a script, versus something that's more creative and extroverted, like being on camera. Batching is also really great because you do not need to get camera ready, every single day or every single week. I am only camera ready a couple times per month, which means that, I'm not having to get my hair done or do makeup or choose outfits or, have my space be super pristine and well lit. All of these things take a lot of time, but also a lot of energy out of me. So being able to just do it a couple times per month makes it a lot more attainable. You might also have the struggle if you're a business owner and you have maybe an office or you have a team who's going to be on camera. You may have the struggle of just finding that quiet time in your day. I know I struggle with that too. So being able to tell your employees, hey, we need these 2 days that are quiet on set versus trying to, rush in between meetings and get your space all ready and your sound all set up can be really nice. Like I said, editing, I also like to set aside a couple days per month where I just edit. And I can really get in the zone with editing and kind of get lost in editing. Now, you may or may not be doing your own post-production, so take all of this advice and apply whatever makes sense to your own life and your own business, but those are the things that work for me. And lastly, you can always outsource your content creation. And I want to be clear that this can take on a lot of different forms. Sometimes when you hear outsource, it can be a little bit scary, especially if you're just new in business and you're bootstrapping your business. You might be thinking, I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend for somebody to create a bunch of content for me. And I get it. I've certainly been there. There are small things that you can do to start outsourcing. Like, for example, working with a UGC creator. We just did an episode on UGC if you want to check that one out, but UGC stands for user generated content. So instead of hiring somebody who is maybe going to produce something with super high production quality that's going to be very commercial, very over the top, you might hire somebody to just record a couple of quick TikToks for you or a couple of Facebook ads for you. And a lot of times you can hire UGC creators for very affordable that can just get your content off on a good, steady rhythm and kind of give you that initial momentum that you need to get your business in front of the right people. You might also choose to work with influencers. So they might use your product and share it with their audience. That can be a great way to get in front of them. You can ask them if you can use their content on your channels as well. And then of course you could hire an agency to take the lead on your content for you. Most agencies, including C Squared, should be flexible in their plans in that, if you need one small piece of content or if you need many pieces of content a month, There'll be variable budgets, variable plans, variable pricing for that so that you can find something that you need. I also want to note though that I understand how scary it can be to outsource your content. I mean, you're the business owner, you know your business and your brand the best. So handing it off to somebody can feel a little bit scary, but it can be such a relief. As long as you're working with a team who respects your brand, who respects your insight into the brand and what you've built, you should be in good hands. And I can just say that the team at C Squared does a great job. They have great attention to detail. They really understand what their clients are looking for and respect their clients. So that's something that's super important when you are looking for an agency to work with. Outsourcing can be a huge help and can just enable you to really get heads down in what you do best and let somebody else do what they do best. So repurposing, being honest and realistic about what you can do at the time and determining your minimum viable product. Batching is one of my favorites. And lastly, outsourcing. These are 4 things that you can do to start creating more content with less time. I really hope this episode was helpful. Hope it gave you some ideas. If you have any questions about any of the things that I mentioned, feel free to use the comments on YouTube and let us know. See how we can help you out. And again, if you are looking to outsource, if you're looking to work with UGC creators, anything like that, feel free to shoot us a message. You can visit our website at csquaredsocial.com and chat with us. The team would love to hear what you're looking for and let you know if we have a solution that'll work for you, your budget, and your needs. So that's all I got for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.